哦，这里講呢塊嘢，咁樣。OK。呢個位都睇唔到。哇，懵咗。收頭，因為坐直啲。咁 OK，各位 OK。
Hey, hi guys. Welcome to Odoo Live. Yeah, we have a special schedule today because we have some technical difficulties on Wednesday. So this week we are going to have a live on Friday. So for we are going to have Kenneth here, our yeah, is this your first time?
Yeah, it's actually the first time doing a webinar, so
yeah.
So
he is a functional manager here in Odoo Hong Kong, which take care of our the functional consultancy in Hong Kong and the APAC region. So I guess a lot of you are interested on of what Quickstart methodology is. Actually, I've seen a lot of people having difficulties in implying their database into Odoo or having trouble of how to start with it. So we are very lucky here. So we have kind of here to discuss what how to implement your database into Odoo Online. So let's get started, shall we?
Okay.
Okay,
so I guess I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Kenneth. I've been with Odoo 4.5 years now, and I take care of the functional consultant team. And what we do is basically we help customers implement the projects. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the strategies for a successful implementation of Odoo. So the agenda for today is who is Odoo Online for? Is that okay? Okay, sorry guys, give us a second here. In the meantime, I can still go through the agenda we're going to go through today. First, we're going to talk about who is Odoo Online used for, some of the Quickstart methodology, and some information regarding our success packs and how we successfully implement Odoo Online. And then at the end of the session, we'll have a quick Q&A if you guys have any questions on that. Let me try to reboot that again.
Yeah, we can do it this way.
Is it better?
Do it in the slide, so.
You want the slides or no?
Will be great.
Okay. Okay. So Okay, so who is Odoo Online used for? So in mind, in theory, Odoo Online is kind of targeted for small businesses anywhere from one employee to 60 plus. However, we do have larger customers that use Odoo, and at that point, they usually have an on-premise installation where they can do a lot more development to customize and tailor-make the Odoo to their business. However, for online, it's more limited to small business users under 60 users. Okay, and we're at a price point where we're very competitive in the market. A lot of larger ERP companies. I mean, you're spending over six-digit figures, whereas our apps range anywhere from $5 to $25 per app, etc. And it can do pretty much a lot of the same things that larger companies can provide. And we do have a series of different apps, and it's all constantly growing, anywhere from sales, inventory, purchase, manufacturing, point of sales, e-commerce, a whole bunch of different apps, and it just keeps growing on a daily basis. Okay, and we have an easy to use layout and interface where it's compatible on your phone as well. So you can actually use your cell phone or tablet to access Odoo online, where you can stay in touch with your business even if you're away from the office. Okay, keep going. Okay, success packs and Quickstart methodology. The goal is to help you to get into production within the defined time frame and budget. So what that means is, so usually when we start a project, we do a requirement analysis, and we see what the type of scope that your company require in order to use Odoo. So what we do is we plan kind of a project implementation to see different time frames depending on your requirements. And budget as well if you require additional development or customization. So what we do is we kind of have a general plan of how we implement your system from beginning to end. Okay. In production, make you independent and fully proactive within Odoo. So at the end of the day, when we finish the implementation, we hope that at that point you would be self-sufficient to use our system without any other assistance coming from Odoo. But obviously, at the same time, we do provide support and training after you go into production. Okay, and some of the implementation options we have success packs that are recommended from the salespeople, and you can always purchase additional success packs if you run out of hours. And some people they decide to implement themselves with a success pack. However, we find that the majority of the people that don't have success pack don't continue to use Odoo, and it's not because of the software, it's because they're not sure how to use it. So I guess that's what the success pack adds as a value. So it makes you kind of more familiar with Odoo, whereas people who are implementing themselves tend to not continue to use Odoo after the fact. That's what we noticed. So that's why we do have a wide variety of different ranges of success pack. So we have a 25 hours, 50 hours, 100 hours, 200 hours, depending on your requirements and depending on how sophisticated, how difficult your company requirements are. So this is where I'm talking about where we tailor the small business users anywhere from mom and pop shop from 2 users, maybe all the way up to small businesses with 50 users in your company. So what the pack includes, first of all, you get a dedicated project manager or functional consultant assigned to your project. So what they do is they're with you through from the beginning to end, from the implementation, from the requirement analysis, requirement gathering, the actual setup of your system, the configuration of your system, any customization or development that are required. You will liaise with the single point of contact. And they also provide training as well as teaching you how to use the system, giving you, I guess, expertise, advice on what's the best way to use the system. And, based on our system, what we can provide for your company. So at the same time, they act as a project manager as well as a functional consultant. And what the pack includes, analysis, as I mentioned, configuration, import of data from your old system, or a lot of people come from Excel and other Microsoft applications. Data import, we provide the training, coaching, and at the same time, we also have the help desk support it's based in Belgium, and basically, you can send an email to them at any time, and they'll reply back. And that's, for example, usually people use that when they're maybe outside of working hours of the functional consultant, and they have some additional questions or queries that they would like to answer, and they can use the support as well. Okay, so typical success pack and quick start methodology. So typically, I mean, this is not really something we have to go by, but I mean, generally we recommend maybe 1 to 2 meetings per week. Even, for example, there's especially in the beginning where you want to set up the next steps for the upcoming implementation. So also updates of what's going on from both parties. Because the thing is, the key of the success pack is not that we do everything for you. We want you to be in the position. We want to train the single point of contact from your company so that they are capable of teaching your employees as well. So we want to make you guys self-sufficient. At the same time, we're there to help you if needed. Okay. So we usually have a phase methodology where we implement an application at a time. However, this is not, again, it's not restricted. It depends on company requirements. It depends on the company workflow, as some workflows might require 2 apps to work hand in hand. And that's the beauty of the integration of Odoo. So all our apps are integrated. We can, for example, sales and purchase and inventory, they're all related in certain ways, right? Okay. But in general, we do have a phase structure where we start off with a kickoff call with a single point of contact from your company. And what we do is we discuss in the kickoff call, we'll go through a checklist of things that needs to be done, that needs to be addressed, and basically a requirement analysis. And at this point, we make sure we implement, we configure the application to your requirements. We train you on how to use it. And then once everything's done, we do a testing, we make sure everything's good to go, then we move on to the next application. Okay. And at the same time, if we realize there's customization to be done, we do that as well on top after that. And then at the same time, if there's any support after the full implementation of the app or the system, you can still contact us, your project manager or functional consultant, and they can assist you there. Okay. Okay. How we successfully implement Odoo online. I think one of the key things is that we have a single point of contact from both sides. So this way, at all times, you're clear of what's going on both sides. And again, as I mentioned before, trainer. So we want you guys to be at a point where you're sufficient yourself to be able to use the system without us. But at the same time, we provide all the support we can in order for you to do so. So we suggest 2 days a week in the beginning stages of the implementation to actually implement the different applications, and also the single point of contact should be able to make decisions. So this way, we can decide and move on quickly on what we need to do next and what we have to do in the coming future. Okay, and again, we have support from all departments. So things to keep in mind. This is another funny thing actually. So a lot of businesses I noticed from past projects, they came from, let's say, for example, Excel and Microsoft Word, those type of applications, and they tried to do the exact same way in Odoo with the exact same processes, etc. So I always question them. I mean, why would you choose a system when you're using exact same methodologies, same workflows and things like that? Odoo is here for to make things more efficient, to make things better. So I understand that a lot of people are afraid of change or they don't like change, but the thing is, once you try a different thing, you might find a lot of ways that you can make your business run a lot more smoother, a lot more efficient. So that's what I noticed, that people who try to replicate what they're already doing into Odoo usually doesn't end up being successful. Whereas for people that are a little bit more open-minded, that wouldn't mind changing some of their workflows or some of the things that they've been used to doing, those are the people who find that actually Odoo is very useful, became more efficient, they use it better. Their business become a lot runs a lot more smoother and more efficient. So and at the same time, I mean, we develop a software for the general public. So there will be processes or some specific things that we cannot do or require additional development or customization. So have an open mind, I guess, when implementing with Odoo, that you might be subjected to a bit of workarounds or some of the changes in your workflows. But at the same time, we try our best to accommodate as much as possible within the confines of the system. And that's what Quickstart is mainly used for. And for the larger, for example, specific tailor-made systems, then we have other channels, for example, like partners, a local on-premise installation to cover those things. So general for Odoo SaaS, we try to keep everything out of the box as much as possible, of course. And if there are any gaps that we need to fill in, we'll see what we can do in terms of either workaround or customization or development. Okay, on customization. Oh, okay, just as we're talking about the development customization. So yeah, always start with Odoo out of the box. I kind of jumped ahead myself there. And we also have a new app right now. It's called Studio, and it just came out. It's one of the recent versions. And what you can do yourself as the customer, you can customize your own fields. You can create fields. You can customize your views and things like that with a simple click. So we found that a lot of companies are using this nowadays. They kind of have some maybe little processes that's not completely out of the box. So with the Studio app, it covers already a lot of the different things that they need that were out of the box initially. So a fresh start, Odoo can help you implement simpler and smarter business processes. Don't import all your historical data. Is this a priority for company growth? Can add expense and is integrated? So I guess in short, a lot of customers, they would want to keep everything historically, let's say for the past 6 years or whatever that they've been working on into Odoo. See, a lot of the times you have to think back, is that really necessary? You already have that data on hand with that information. So a lot of times I suggest to our customers to start fresh with a fresh system. So this way, there's a lot less errors when it comes to setting up the system, importing the data, etc. So, but I mean, we can for historical data as well. It's just that we suggest that you start off with a fresh system. You're moving on from an old system to a new one. Let's start everything fresh, and at the same time, you will have the data already, in your hands, in your possession, anyways, right? Okay. So moving on. How to successfully implement Odoo online. So apart from the functional consultant, we also have a wide variety of resources that we can provide you. For example, online documentation. For every subscription, it comes with for every success pack, sorry, it comes with the e-learning platform. So the e-learning platform contains videos and exercises and tests every, for every module that we have. The most popular ones, I mean, there will be a couple of really I guess niche ones that are not included. But I mean, in general, you would have the whole suite of software with all the applications, with video training, along with tests and exercises that you can do and practice using Odoo. Okay, you're learning webinars, and at the same time, like for example, like today, we're webinars. We have an Odoo YouTube channel where you can look at some of the webinars we've done for different applications that goes through maybe guiding you how to set up your system, how to use the specific application, etc. Okay. And also the functional consultants there to help you if you need training. We do provide on-site training as well. So if you're in the for a Hong Kong office in the Asia Pacific region, we do travel to on-site locations to actually conduct training sessions for users. Okay, so these numbers are just approximate numbers, so don't hold me with these. But approximately every month, we have about 15 new projects. On average, each project will contain at least 6 apps, and it requires an approximate 70 hours to implement the whole thing. I mean, all these times and numbers, they vary depending on the complexity of your business workflows. And usually, an average time, 3 to 6 months. We like to, kind of give a little bit bigger time frame. It's always better to under promise and over deliver. But usually, I mean, within a 3 month time frame, usually it can get implemented. And again, this all depends on how complex your business workflows are. And we'll have about 92.5% of success out of the projects. I mean, there will be situations when there are times where something that we cannot provide and it's something that you specifically need. And at this point, we might advise you instead of using Quickstart, instead of using our online to go on premise. And now we also have an Odoo SH option, which is a dedicated online instance where you can develop anything on it. So, I mean, apart from the Odoo Quickstart standard out of the box, we still have a lot more complex options for more complex business needs. Okay. And yeah, so I guess that wraps things up. I mean, it's, we do what we can to try to help you use Odoo. And that's I guess, in short, the overall goal of our implementation team and functional consultant. Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenny, for such a detailed introduction to our Quickstart methodology and how to implement Odoo from your database. So if you have any question, you can ask us in the chat box, or you can send an email to Kenneth. His email is in the description below. And maybe we can actually show them where they can apply for the success pack on our site, isn't it?
So we can go to, for example, during the pricing,
Yeah,
if you go to the pricing page.
you have to go there.
Oh, I have to go there. Okay. So if we go to, so you can see down here in the implementation. Oh, I have to put it over. Okay, here you go. So here it'll give you a little bit more information about the success pack, what it includes, etc. How to find paying user. So you can see all in the Odoo pricing page. So success pack. You click on this, you can read more, and it'll give you all the different options for the different tiers, different pack tiers that you can have 25, 50, 100 hours, 200 hours, and what it includes, and the pricing as well.
Yeah. So everything will be pretty simple, just like our system. So if there's any question, you can just ask it now, or else we are going to end this session here. And can you actually mention that Odoo SH if you do not know what it is? And we are going to have another episode of webinar at the end of August by our technical consultant here in Hong Kong, with Thomas from Belgium. So I hope you all enjoy this webinar. So we're going to end it here.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend. Goodbye.